Hello students, we are back for the next topic on downstreaming process. I think we have been watching the videos on the downstreaming processes, whatever we have learned till now. The previous class we learned about the chromatography techniques. Okay, I think you revised it. Affinity chromatography, which is very important in the industry. Okay, and of course solvent extraction methodologies, distillation. Okay, like that we have another technique called as the evaporation and drying methods. So what is evaporation? You need to remove the water content from the product. So when you remove the water content, you are indirectly drying the product. It can be very applicable in the food industries also, and you can see that in the dairy industries too. Okay, so drying is a process where even in pharmaceuticals it becomes very important, right? So drying is here when you use, what comes to your mind? Drying means it is something like, hot air, okay, high temperature. So there is, every product cannot be going for such techniques. Certain times we may have to go for vacuum drying. Sometimes may have to, depends on the content. Some amount of moisture. Sometimes some products need not have any moisture, right? Even for example, crystals, what we prepare like citric acid crystals, they need to be also dried. They go on a belt. After the crystallization is done, the crystals move on the belt, and hot air is going to be passed on to the crystals. By passing hot air, they can dry. So drying is a procedure, very important, where you need to remove the water, evaporation. Okay, directly nothing but evaporation. Okay, so it's very useful for getting the powders. Let us see the various powders what we get in the industry. Will be vitamins powder, protein powder. It can be food also, food industries also, pharma also. Pharma tablets are made. The powder form comes, then formulations are done, etc. Right? So drying is a very important procedure in the product recovery. One of the steps in the product recovery. After a product is got, it has to go for drying process. Even an antibiotic, you get the powder form of the antibiotic. So they should see the sensitivity of the product. Based on that, they have to use different types of evaporators or dryers. Okay. So with this small introduction, we will go into the studies of various equipments that are used in the drying techniques. Okay. The various factors which are responsible for the drying techniques. Okay, it can be the rate at which, so it can be at rate at which the heat can be transferred to the liquid, quantity of the heat required to evaporate the product, maximum allowable temperature, then pressure at which evaporation can take place, then the changes in the food material or any pharma material that is involved in the drying process. Okay, so this is just a simple open pan system where you have a pan. In the pan you have a heater at the bottom, and it's drying happens. Okay, so this is a open pan system, very traditional old methodology, where in the pan the product is getting dried by heat, or even externally from outside also you can pass the hot air. That is very simple methodology, traditional methodology. There is a tube evaporator where you have a horizontal tube. The product is like here, and this rotates. Okay, as it rotates, it picks the liquid over this, and it gets dried. Eventually, it's getting scraped out. Okay, so hot air is there in this. Yeah, especially these tube evaporators are open. Protein powders and milk powders, all these things can be done by this methodology. Certain amount of moisture will be retained in this, but it's a different product. Okay, so baby powders which can be manufactured, all these are involved in the horizontal tube evaporators. This is a vertical tube evaporator, which is basket type, where you have the steam, okay, and the condensate here. So you can see that there's a vapor will escape from here as the product is inside this chamber. Okay, and here is the steam. Condensate will be fallen down, and here evaporation happens in this. This is called as a vertical tube evaporator, which is like basket type in nature. This is called as a long tube evaporators, where you have the steam passed here. Okay, this is a chamber where steam can be passed. So you can see that steam is passed from both the sides, and there are separate pipes in which the product is going to move. Okay, due to steam and steam passing, okay, there is a drying happening. The condensate is of course removed from here, and this is forced through, because there's a force from bottom also. Steam is pushing the product in the the product is coming into this and gets concentrated. Vapors are lost from here. Okay, here is a concentrate powder of the product. This is called as long tube evaporators. There is a plate evaporators or plate heat exchangers, where your product is passing through a pipe, comes into one plate, and here hot steam is there. Okay, in another plate. Both are good conductors of heat. So there's exchange of heat, and the powder is created here in this plate, and it is removed. This is called as the plate evaporators. Okay, so they are very easy, and there's no mixing of steam also to separate here. It's easily accessible. So very much this is a very important, easiest way of evaporation procedure in the industry. The forced circulation evaporators are different, where you have a pump here. Okay, so the steam is passed here, and the product is going to be circulated in this chamber, and there's a pump in this which will bring this product further into this, and evaporation can happen on a longer scale here. Okay, because of the huge tank, and it can be recycled back, and again it can be passed through the steam, and then it can come back. Okay, if you feel the product is yet to be dried more, and thus you get the concentrate product, dried product from the chamber. Okay, this is called a forced circulation evaporators, because you are circulating this back, and then again it goes back and comes into this. So vapors will escape because it's a large chamber here, or head space will be there. So vapors will evaporate, steam will dry the product. Okay, thus you get a concentrated product from here. This is called as forced circulation evaporators. Students, what you're seeing here is a tray dryer. Okay, this tray dryer is a procedure where you have a running belt. Okay, you have a running belt on which the tray, the product is moving. You have some chamber which is specifically pumping the hot air onto this, and then the product gets dried. It's a very common methodology in many of the crystals. They use this methodology, and any of the fine powders and all, in the food and dairy, they will use this tray dryers. Okay, of course then it will go for QC to check for the contamination levels, because it's a different methodology. Each industry has its own. Here it's open tray dryers. Certain places they can't use it. For food products might be yeah, it can be suitable. Certain sensitive products we can't use this technique. Okay, but we do have it as one of the drying methodologies, tray dryer. Next we will learn about tunnel dryers. It's a modified version. This is called as tunnel tray dryer, where you have a centrifugal fan. Okay, heater is there in the top. There's a number of trays here. Okay, you can see the product is on the trays. Okay, heater is there, hot air is pumped, like your hot air oven, hot air is circulated. Okay, and you get the product getting dried by this technique. Okay, first they bring in trolleys, huge trolleys. It's a huge, it will be like a size of a room, what you're seeing. Okay, a centrifugal fan will be there. The whole trolley is brought inside and left in trays, and then the product gets dried up. This is another technique of drying. Okay, in all these we can use temperature regulators and all, like for any other purpose, like drying purpose, 100 degrees centigrade, 85 degrees centigrade, depends on your product. So we can go for drying methodologies based on the product. So many of the pharmaceutical products, gels also, they can dry them. The amount of moisture is required, they can use it. Food powders and all, protein powders, because we have a consortium of Horlicks or any health drink, they have to dry the product. So this is one of the easiest methodologies to dry the product. Under aseptic conditions, it can be efficiently done. So this is a roller dryer, what you're seeing. Okay, roller dryer is a very simple technique
where you are seeing the feed, that is the product is brought onto this, and then this is steam, so it gets dried up and the product is obtained here. It's a very simple procedure. So heated drum, cross section you can see. So drum is on the drum, it's falling, and this is a high temperature, the product is obtained here. Okay. This is a drum dryer, which is different slightly. So you have two drums. Okay, here is the product, the feed, and there's a vacuum hood at the top. Vacuum is created for faster drying. Product is moving, it's here, the drum is rotating. Okay, so it picks up this product, and it, as it is rotating, it picks up the product. Because of high temperature, it is getting dried. There's a scraper here, it will scrape the powder and bring the product down. Because of vapor hood is there, which will vaporize the water, whatever vapors are here. Okay, this is the feed, the pipe for feeding this. This pipe will help in feeding the product here. Okay, this is one of the important highly efficient model used in pharmaceuticals and various food industries and all. They use this. So we get the powder form of products now. All this is done with such drum dryers. Okay, drum dryers very frequently asked in the exam. So this is a rotating drum. The feed is taken here and it's getting dried. Okay, I'll get you the notes for all these things. Just have an idea. So this is a scraper. It will scrape out the powder and you can get it outside. Students, this is called as a fluidized dryer, where you have the feed from one side and hot air is pumped from the bottom. Okay, as hot air is pumped, it forces the product to get evaporated and the product is obtained on the right hand side, what you are seeing. Okay, this is called as a fluidized dryer. We also have fluidized bed dryer, that's different, where filters are there, where you pass the heat through the filters and allow it to dry. Fluidized bed dryers also is there. This is a fluidized dryer. Very efficiently one can dry the product. This is known as the spray dryer, very common in the industries. What they do is the feed is obtained from the top. Okay, at a high temperature like 300 degrees centigrade, the feed is allowed to enter, and at such a high temperature through a narrow jet they enter, and you can understand the hot air inside. It will definitely, when it escapes through a narrow jet, the product will get dried and all that powder will be accumulated inside the chamber, in the walls and all. It will fall. It can be removed later on. This is called as spray dryer. Most of the pharma product and the milk powders also, they can go for spray dryers. This is similar to the spray dryer. Okay, but what you are observing difference here is, there also you have a feed and a spray nozzle is there. Hot gases inlet will be seen in this case. Hot gas inlet pipe will come, rotate, and it will going to escape. Okay, so this is a counter current spray dryer. Understood? So students, this is counter current spray dryer, which brings a drying procedure even more faster and efficiently. The product can be dried in a lesser time and more efficiently. So please remember what's the difference. In spray dryer only we don't have this hot air counter current spray dryer is called, because hot air is coming from this side oppositely, and here this spraying is happening. Okay, this is called as counter current spray dryer. The efficiency is more in this. This is called as the rotary dryer. So what you are seeing here, we have the feed here. This is a horizontal chamber. Steam is passed to this. It will bring high temperature, and there's a condensate formed here, and the product will be obtained from this drum. Okay, so there is hot steam passing the drum, and the high temperature, of course this will be rotating. So the feed will be here and it's got rotating. Steam is passed externally. It's an external chamber. Internally chamber, inner cylinder will have the product. Outer cylinder will be exposed to high steam, and then it will be condensed product. Condensate will be collected, the water vapors, and the product gets dried as a powder form. It's obtained separately from the inner cylinder. This is outer covering, outer cylinder we can call it as. Okay, this is a rotary dryer. So any of these questions can be asked in the exam. So it's very important that you should know about the drying techniques, which is very important for a short answer, 5 marks questions they can ask, different types of dryers, drying techniques. I think with this background you understood what is meant by a dryer. Okay, so we will be learning such similar concepts like coming to evaporation, drying techniques. You learned crystallization. Okay, so you learned chromatography. Each one has a different downstreaming process, product recovery process. So there can be a question, explain about the various products and their product recovery. So you should be able to take up examples with separate headings of whatever you are discussing. These all come under the product recovery. Okay, so it depends on what steps. It's all of, see, one product recovery step will not come, as I told you earlier. It's a mixture of the product recovery steps, isn't it? So after we go for crystallization, then we have to go for drying. After we extract certain proteins, we have to go for drying. So it depends on what extent of drying we do. Okay, so we need to understand that these all procedures are what we learn is a mixture of some particular product recovery which is going to be dealt in the industry. These all are only models. Okay, industries will manufacture their own types of equipments how they want, because there's an engineer person, also people who are there in the industry. So what is your requirement will be explained to them and they will design accordingly. They'll design the time. So this length also matters a lot. They will use specific length. All that is depends on the industry. It's only a model. Okay, they keep changing according to the requirement. Even a spray dryer or whatever for that matter, how much height a spray dryer should be, what is the counter current, temperature, these are all procedures, that's all. Each industry has their own formulation, their own steps, methodologies. Okay, but you should know the principle of all this, that's all. But when you go to the industry, you will be getting trained on that. You will understand what is the basic requirement in that particular industry, how they want and all. Okay, so as we know, it's like, it's all industry to industry, they have their own secrets, right? So that's how we have to understand these topics. Okay, students, I think you got it, what is meant by the drying procedures. Okay, this is all you have to learn. Let us meet with the next topic shortly. Okay, yeah, please take care, stay safe. Okay, students, yeah, see you, take care.